If there's one thing every JRPG player knows, it's that there's a type of game capable of leaving a mark on us in a different way. These are stories that mix emotion, difficult choices, impossible worlds, and characters that stay with us long after the ending. Today I brought a special selection, games that you definitely don't know or maybe you've never played, but that deliver unique, creative, and above all, memorable experiences. Here you will find everything from time travel journeys that change the entire fate of the world to artificial realities created by human desires themselves. Heroes using a sword to kill the final monster, but before that they need to cross dark plots, sensitive moments, and characters that completely break the rules of the genre. So get comfortable, because if you like games that escape the conventional, you're about to discover some of the best hidden gems of the modern JRPG.
Protect everybody!
Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. This is one of the most sophisticated JRPGs when it comes to time manipulation. The story follows Stock, a military agent who receives the White Chronicle, a book capable of allowing him to travel between two main timelines. But the game doesn't limit itself to this gimmick. It creates situations in which each decision deeply affects the fate of characters, cities, and even entire nations. The narrative is built like a web, where failed timelines serve to reach solutions in another line. The gameplay combines turn-based combat with grid positioning, allowing you to push enemies to align combos, maximize damage, and control the field. This creates an addictive strategic rhythm, where moving an enemy can be more important than attacking. Additionally, Perfect Chronology adds extra dungeons, new endings, unseen scenes, and the third timeline, which deepens the world even further. The mature writing, impeccable pacing, and the feeling of commanding destiny make this one of the most rewarding JRPGs ever created.
Redo.
今いるこの世界は現実じゃなくて夢みたいなもんだって言いたいんだろ。
The Caligula Effect 2. Set in Rito, a virtual world created so its inhabitants can live the perfect life they never had, the game uses this concept to explore heavy psychological themes: depression, frustration, rejection, anxiety, and social masks. Each character who joins your group has a palpable and well-written trauma, and the game makes sure you deeply understand how they ended up there. Combat is where the game truly stands out. The imaginary chain system allows you to preview actions and create combos in advance, as if you were choreographing the fight. The vocal soundtrack, composed by virtual artists, changes when bosses enter Berserk mode, something extremely stylish. Despite looking like a school JRPG, it is a deep analysis of human escapism and offers a rare balance between modern style and emotional weight. Monarch. Monarch plunges the player into a suffocating psychological atmosphere. Shin Mikado Academy is taken over by a mist that causes madness, and each pact you face represents mental distortions, such as narcissism, obsession, and self-destruction. The narrative is fragmented, allowing different paths depending on your affinities with each character. Combat resembles a hybrid between tactical strategy and indirect action. You can use the Madness system, which grants enormous powers, but at the cost of losing control completely if you overuse it. With every offensive action, your insanity rises, and balancing damage and self-control becomes essential. Monarch also stands out for its daemons, manifestations of the ego that function as extensions of the protagonist. They have deep skill trees and completely change the player's strategy. The dark, almost suffocating tone, combined with risky mechanics, makes it a unique experience among JRPGs. Astria Ascending. Visually stunning, Astria Ascending looks like a living painting. The world of Orkanon is inhabited by several races, each with its own culture, aesthetics, and tradition. The demigods, your protagonists, are warriors destined to live only 3 years, sacrificing their own lives for the peace of the world. Combat uses a refined turn-based system with focus points, which allow you to reinforce attacks, create magical combos, and punish weaknesses. The vast class and subclass tree encourages real experimentation, with completely different compositions depending on the player's style. The 2D side map resembles light Metroidvanias, and the dungeons have small puzzles, alternate paths, and hidden resources. Astria Ascending stands out for its visuals, but also for its melancholic atmosphere and its grand soundtrack composed by Hitoshi Sakimoto, legendary composer of the Final Fantasy Tactics series.
If you saw what was, what is, and what would be, if you knew how it ends, would you change it?
Chris Tales. Chris Tales is a love letter to the genre, but with the most creative innovation of recent years. You see past, present, and future simultaneously. Cities visually change depending on which side of the screen you look at, and the design is so detailed that it allows you to follow the aging of NPCs, architectural changes, and even catastrophes that are yet to happen. In combat, time manipulation becomes strategy. You can age an enemy to make them fragile, regress a boss to undo built-up spells, or combine water attacks and then accelerate time to oxidize metal armor. Its stained glass-like aesthetic and smooth animations make it one of the most artistic works of the genre, while the story addresses themes like responsibility, sacrifice, and inevitable destiny. Ononaki. Ononaki is an action RPG with a strong spiritual atmosphere, set in a world where reincarnation is a central part of the culture. The protagonist, Kagachi, is a watcher, someone in charge of freeing souls trapped between worlds. The game doesn't soften this theme. There are heavy decisions, impactful deaths, and moments of deep reflection on emotional attachment. Combat is fast and based on switching demons, each bringing different styles: fast swords, heavy spears, area spells, ranged attacks, extreme mobility. Each demon has its own sub-story, weapons, and skill tree, which unlock as you advance emotionally with them. The dark art direction, combined with a melancholic soundtrack, makes Ononaki a short but powerful experience, recommended for those seeking serious themes and a mature approach to death. Saga Scarlet Grace. This is a JRPG for those who like total freedom. There are no traditional dungeons or linear exploration. The world is presented as a living map where you choose exactly which events you want to face. This makes every playthrough completely different. The turn-based combat is one of the deepest in the Saga series. It uses a timeline system where positioning, action order, and interruptions are vital. You can learn new techniques unpredictably during battles, which encourages constant experimentation. Each of the 4 protagonists has their own journey with different tones: political, epic, intimate, or investigative. It is an RPG made for those who love innovation and don't mind unconventional structures.
This is the tale of 12 children. And the Tyrannus, a weapon of ancient times that will change their fates forever.
Fuga, Melodies of Steel, an emotionally devastating JRPG. Here, a group of children flees the invasion of the Burman army while controlling the gigantic tank Tyrannus. Combat is inspired by classic turn-based systems, with 3 characters attacking from different cannons, each with advantages against specific types of enemies. You swap the children's positions, manage ammunition, control cooldowns, and choose strategic routes on a progression map. But the soul of the game is the Soul's Cannon, a weapon that guarantees instant victory, but at the cost of a child's permanent death. This mechanic creates constant emotional tension, forcing the player to weigh narrative and strategy in a brutal way. The story is sensitive, melancholy, and full of moments of human warmth between the characters, bonds that make every decision even harder.
Blue Reflection's Second Light. This JRPG combines slice of life with emotional fantasy, resulting in a soft and enchanting atmosphere. The protagonists awaken in an isolated school surrounded by dimensions made of memories. Exploration takes place in colorful and symbolic worlds that represent repressed feelings. Each setting reflects the personality of one of the girls. The combat system is dynamic. A time bar defines turn and speed, allowing coordinated combos, transformations, and visually impressive abilities. The best part of the game is the emotional growth. Talking, cooking, exploring the school, strengthening bonds, everything influences the girl's power in battle. It is an introspective and heartfelt experience. Loop 8, Summer of Gods. Loop 8 is a very different JRPG. With each cycle, the summer resets, and you must try to save the rural town of Ashihara from divine beings called Kegai. The highlight is the emotion AI system, where relationships are not static. Characters have emotions that constantly change and directly influence the story. The atmosphere is light and nostalgic, reminiscent of summer anime, but the subtext is heavy. Each death caused by the Kegai returns in the next cycle, carrying emotional meaning. Combat is based on spiritual energy and social relationships. How much someone likes or trusts you alters their strength in battle. It is a game about failures, regrets, and trying until you finally get it right.
Years ago.
Edge of Eternity, a large-scale indie JRPG that mixes fantasy and science fiction. The world is being consumed by the corrosion, an alien technological infection. The journey follows Darion and Celine in search of a cure. Combat is turn-based with a hexagonal grid system, allowing tactical movement, terrain control, spells that affect areas, and long battles that require preparation. The soundtrack is composed by Yasunori Mitsuda, bringing an epic and melancholic tone. The open world is full of giant creatures, cities with distinct cultures, dense side quests, and vast visuals. It's ideal for those who like expansive universes told with seriousness.
Look out, he's corroded!
Soul Hackers 2. Mixing neon aesthetics with digital mysticism, the game follows Ringo, an artificial agent sent to prevent the apocalypse. The story has a futuristic urban feel, focusing on mystery, faction politics, and human relationships. Combat uses a simplified version of SMT's press turn, but with the stack system, where hitting weaknesses accumulates demonic attacks at the end of the round. This encourages thinking 3 turns ahead. The setting is stylish. Cyber bars, neon alleys, underground clubs, every environment overflows with personality.
For now. I'll help you prevent this end of the world or whatever you've been going on about.
Colorful, vibrant, and full of personality, this is a JRPG where the world of Japanese entertainment meets supernatural creatures. The story follows young aspiring idols, actors, and models as they face mirages that feed on human creative energy. Combat is inspired by Fire Emblem, with elemental weaknesses, weapons, and classes, but it uses session chains, automatic combos that make every fight a visual show. The dungeons are thematic. TV studios, runways, musical labyrinths, all with humor, shine, and lots of style. It's a light, fun, charismatic game with addictive combat. If you made it this far and enjoyed this deep dive into lesser-known games, be sure to watch the next video. Like, share, and leave your opinion about which of these you didn't know yet.